can I do a PSA real quick?
Okay.
Okay. So, like, I hope everybody remembers that in about 1 week, it's going to be Valentine's Day. So, be sure to wrap yourself up. Don't, you know, do too much and go too crazy, and play your music as raucously as you can. So, we've talked about sex, drugs, and rock and roll. What else are we not going to talk about today?
Well, it's
I
funny
don't
you
even
should.
know.
It's funny you should say that because I was going to mention the Willy Willy.
There you go. Hey, and also don't forget that this Friday is Friday the 13th.
Okay.
Time to break out your Jason mask.
Yes. Too bad Grim will be
Go
working.
camping.
He's got a restraining order against me. Like I keep on coming back to him. I've told him over and over. I'm willing to change. I am willing to at least let him try to be a bit more dominant in the relationship, but he keeps on running away. It's just yeah.
Right.
Some people they won't allow you to change them, no matter how much you try.
Is it
That's for
possible
their
with
own
Willy
good.
Willy?
It's possible. I've not yet to engage with the Willy Willy, but I'm sure Jason would enjoy a little bit of Willy Willy.
I mean,
after
I
all,
hear it does take you away on a magical journey.
Mm.
You get
Is
sucked
that
in. And...
related to Diggy Diggy?
No, completely different part
Only-
of the world.
No, you can't go
Only-
Diggy Diggy with the Willy Willy.
Nah.
but we got to. It's always got to be for the whole.
I don't know, man. Y'all are not convincing me that Diggy Diggy and like Willy Willy and holes are not all related somehow.
Well,
I
no,
mean, they are because we are dwarves, and we will diggy Willy Willy in for a hole.
Yeah.
Well, no. See, here's the problem because Diggy Diggy is going in, right, and
Yeah.
Willy Willy goes up, and then
Again, you're
in
not
Australia we've got
convincing
the,
me.
and then in Australia we've got the two giant balls, so you got so it's kind of like double-ended. With the
Okay.
Like a Parisian tower.
I mean, I have a stock.
I'm glad I could at least get that kind of reaction from you, Seraphis.
yeah. To be fair, going back like a couple of sentences, I have actually seen Windrose in concert. They were awesome, and then I got COVID. That was less so.
I don't know. I find myself just not wanting to go out and see concerts these days. I would listen to the music online and what have you, but it's just, yeah. The last time I tried to do concerts, it was like Dream, Evil, Dragon Force, and then COVID affected everything. I was like, I can't be bothered to rebook all these tickets. No, I just can't. And then I've got to go into London to go and see them, and the hours means that I'm not going to be able to have a train back, so I need to be able to stay there somewhere. I was like, okay, the work that goes into this is just means I'm no longer interested.
Understandable.
Yeah. Or I've just gotten old. That those 30s hit you hard. Wait till I get 40. Depending on who you are. Well, yeah, I think I was in my late 20s. Yeah. I count it as the early 30s. Anyway, how have we been doing, everyone? How's the week been going for everyone? Let's start with the GRD double G.
It's been chaotic for me.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's, I guess, usual.
I mean, it's a lifestyle. That's not chosen, but it's a style that forces itself upon you. Fair enough. Seraphis?
Yeah, second week back at. You're doing Hangman, aren't you?
No.
No, just slowly getting there. Okay. I was thinking it was Groundhog, but it's not Groundhog. I'm getting distracted. Yeah, second week back for the kids at school, and that's. I slept a lot more than I thought I was going to, and I did not get my video out this week that I was planning on. To be fair, I've got everything ready for it. I just need to record and then edit it together. So, like, I just need a day, but I keep missing a day when I'm not, like, get the kids off to school, come back home, pass out on the couch, my alarm goes off to go pick up the kids from school. I'm still working on that.
Yeah.
I get it. Been there. Now I just don't sleep anymore.
So you're not even a vampire. You're just eternally awake. You're not even a vampire. At least that's during the day.
I've
Like,
gone
you're
past
just-
vampirism. I've just gone full into I'm just zombie at this point.
Yeah, like that. Yeah, it's just straight up zombie.
Like a zombie
even
more?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, okay, so last night, got in bed about 10:30, laid there for till about 11 or so, and then eyes decided to pop open, wake up at 1 a.m. Like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I guess we're up now.
I mean, what better time, really?
Yeah. Well, hey, I did get a couple of videos knocked out, so.
Yes. I'm loving the Valen setting. It's pretty cool. See, I was watching it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a neat setting. It's an interesting. Curious to see how it does.
Is the first word grain?
No. But I can see how you would think that.
I mean, I'll keep the conversation going then. Given that I can see that the Seraphis is obsessed about the mystery that is, well, Gaming Master's name that he changes every week, every hour, on every stream, sometimes every 15 minutes because he's bored, or he knows that he will get someone to look and be distracted, stumble their sentences. Yes.
That's right, everyone. I'm always looking.
I mean, that's the excitement.
I mean,
Well,
you're not wrong.
So work's been all right, been enjoyable. I've got nothing to really say. Our department manager is like, "Hey, let's really push for AI to be rolling out." It's like, cool. Like, how do you find using it? Oscar was like, well, it's all depending on the input. So I've taken some examples of people who write just awful explanations for how things go wrong. I put it into AI, and it's getting about like a 70 to 80% accuracy of what's happening. So it's like, cool. Like, it can summarize it. It's just the people need to understand, like, you have to put more information in than what they do, because some of them will literally just write a story. It's not even like who, what, where, when, why, which is factual. They're just like, this person called in, they were very upset, so I was trying to calm them down, and then they got even more upset. Then we talked about the account and why it wasn't being paid out money. I've reached out to this department. Okay, what further investigation have you done? Oh, this, this, and this. Why didn't you tell me? Is it needed? And breathe. Or even better when they don't even tell me who the client, which account it's affected for, what the situation is. Just
It's
this
not
person
even one
saying,
of our clients. We just reached out to someone.
it's literally. I'm not even joking. There are genuinely situations where I look through some people's notes and I go, "What did you talk about? What did you do? Who have you reached out to?" Because all I see is person called in, it's sorted, no further action. Okay. And then you go into the audit trails and go like, I've raised an event that triggers that we have to do a full investigation. What? No further action. Event triggers, full investigation. Like, what's happening? What have you done?
And what has exchanged hands and why?
Exactly. So it's like, okay, got to pull out the call records, literally go through it with a fine tooth comb, listen to what's being said, realize that the person that took the call wasn't paying attention at all. And then they went through it. Someone else then reached out to them and told them, by the way, you should have done this. And then they've gone, oh, I've done this. And then they've just chucked it over the fence and moved on with their day. And I'm like, you know, that is not how this works. So I then have to like reach out to them and say, like, listen, this is what happened. This is what you've done. This is now what you need to do. Like, you need to go and do it. It's like, oh, but I don't have time. No, you do have time because this is your job. You signed a contract for this. Either way, that's been my work. Coupled in with my well, I assume I'm all right to move into tabletop role-playing games. Seraphis, do you permit me through the door like a cat scratching at it?
Yes.
I don't know why.
Listening.
There we go.
Yeah, I know you are. It's just I can see Seraphis is just tunnel visioning. There's something that needs to be done. Here we are. Role-playing game-wise, it's been hell of a week. So I have explained that my Rogue Trader group, basically we lost half our crew. And beginning of this year, I had to sit down with the players and basically went, right, I, as the game master, am not having fun because we need a certain structure when playing Rogue Trader, which can be achieved with 3 people, but it means that the people who come in has got very forward personalities. They're going to be doing things like very proactively, and there's going to be like that level of engagement, which can go quite in depth. At that point, we had one person that was doing that, and 2 people that were sort of like back and forth about how they want to do it all. Which is, again, I'm not saying that's bad. It's just that was the structure, and that couldn't really coalesce with what we had. And one person not being able to make it would have a very big impact. So I went to go and get new players, which meant quickly getting and doing some interviews, some meetings, and just generally sort of like getting some people on board for whether they want to play it or not. And it did mean that throughout this last week, I would then be given last minute messages by some of the players going, hey, can we talk about my characters? Like, sure, you are 5 to 6 hours behind me and it's 10 o'clock for me. All right, let's see how long this is going to take. A last minute player then was able to give me an answer that he could join. So I've now gone from having a team of 3 to a team of 7.
That's a pretty big jump.
I think it's manageable. We have some players that's got very forward personalities, which is driving things forward, which is good.
Sure.
We've got some people who are holding a bit back. And what I've done in this session we've just had is I've also made it quite clear that you as a forward player might say, hey, I would really like to do something. It's like, yeah, that's cool.
Right.
You got to wait, because I am now focusing on these players who have not talked or have not had a chance to do something. So I'm now turning around. So it's very clear, like, this is happening here, here, and here, and here, and here. So that's been interesting, and I've also had to then outline and have a very, I mean, yeah, it needed to be a railroaded session because there's a lot of like influx of new characters, ranks, and what have you. So the entire introduction was the old NPC Rogue Trader basically coming out of his tequila-induced coma, and as they would say, Spanish Mexican, what's it called, setup that character had, and he's basically gone right. This planet's being attacked by Rakghols. We know that they are dangerous. We need to do a splinter move. So we're going to have all the NPCs doing the battle in space. We're going to have all the players go down on the planet and do a ground battle. So that was good. We went through and had the entire introductions of like who is going to have what rank, establishing the hierarchy. And one of the new players is then going to be taking in the boots of being the new leading rogue trader for this game. And thankfully, I've found a person who's got a forward personality, but they also almost by default have this like paladin, chaotic good motivation for whenever they play a character, which is gelling quite well. So that's been positive. And right out the bat, all my preparation that I've done has immediately basically gone into the shredder. As what I had prepared for was they were going to come down here, they're going to do this, they're going to do that. And some of the players went, ask them. The enemy has got artillery over there. It's like, yes. Has anyone bombed that? It's like, no. Why aren't we doing that?
We're just going to go do it.
Yeah, I just said, there was like, well, I never said you couldn't. Is that what you want to do? It's like, well, yeah. Can't we just like strap up like some anti-tank missiles to our Valkyries, just literally just drop down from the ship onto the surface, have all the logistics and all that, and just basically go straight down to the planet and like set all this up? Like, that's absolutely fine. Now, thankfully, all the role playing and interactions and characters meeting each other had taken up like 2.5 hours. I'm like, great. I will have an entire, week of just making battle maps, because it already sounds like they want to do battle above, battle below, because there's tunnels that they're going to be fighting in. They want to go over and secure the Adeptus Mechanicus. They want to do this. It's like, cool. We are going to be busy for a while, which is going to be enjoyable.
Which, I mean, that's a good thing.
It is.
I mean, that's less prep work on your side, I guess.
Yeah, and the fact that they've actually come out and said, like, here is what we're going to do. And well, one of the players said at the end of the entire thing, like, okay, so now that Oscar's going to go and do all of this, next session we're just going to up and leave. I was like, you're nuts. I will tell you right now, I will use the powers of NPCs to force you. But that's been positive. I will definitely say that last night's session left me with a lot of buzz, and I'm excited to see where it now goes. Because we've got players who has got personalities that are willing to like step forward, engage with other characters. Hell, one of the players messaged me, almost a week before the game and said, the new players that is, they messaged me and said, hey, I'd very much like to like hang back, observe, and like just get a gist of like how the group is, which you're coming into a group that's been playing for a year. You can understand that they're like, okay, I don't know like whose toes to step on or anything like that.
Yeah, they haven't learned that yet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they messaged me. I was like, that's fine, but listen, I need you to know that like I am planning on combats to be an option. If you want to hang back, I'm going to give you the option of like hanging back, doing like background logistics and repairs and things like that. You just need to jump on these things and like just do that. If you're happy to do that, like, but there will be a little bit of engagement I need. And they're like, no, that's fine. As long as it's like between me and them, and they can deal with that. Come the session, one of the forward or like more forward players immediately goes, oh, we need to fight this, and this. Can't we just like orbitally bombard them? Which is immediately shut down. It's like, no, we can't do that because it leaves like devastating impacts. It's like, okay, what about chemical warfare? And another person basically went, oh yeah, we did develop this, sleeping gas against these aliens. I'm thinking the Adeptus Mechanicus has got that, which they then turn to the new player who's playing the Adeptus Mechanicus. It's somewhere in your vaults, isn't it? And that person goes like, "Oh, I didn't know that. Let me go through that." And another person jumps in. "Well, I've got chemistry. Can I go and help you?" And this person who originally said, "Oh, I just want to hang back," suddenly just slides in, and I almost have to stop them from role playing at one point. And I was like, "That's positive." Like they really jumped in and got engaged with it, which I mean, that's really all I could ask for.
Yeah.
That they felt it was natural and they got engaged with that. There's been the setup and the players then, again, for the preparation of large-scale fighting, I made them do preparation roles, like prepare the logistics and getting the weapons down, because it's going to be a wider fight, so you don't want to run out of bullets. You know what you're fighting, so you need
Do
like
they not
heavy
have
hitting.
like any kind of like laser base weaponry?
So they're going down to a planet. That planet has anti-air or anti like spaceship guns, which are laser based. But the way that Warhammer sort of works is that while they are allowed to have these weapons to defend against space, they aren't. The planet is not allowed to have laser based weapons for their planetary defense force like that. Those defenses are only allowed to have the equivalent of like AK-47s, or like lower grade weapons, and that is by design.
Right.
That's just a rule of the world of Warhammer. It's like the planets have got a lesser technology, because if the planet falls, the Imperium can deploy the Imperial Guard, and the Imperial Guard can have an easier time winning it back. But it also means that a planet is easier to be invaded.
Because not everybody's going to abide by no lasers.
Exactly. There are certain exceptions, like it's only the governor that's allowed to have laser weapons. It's only going to be certain elites that's going to be allowed to have it. I can see you're very pleased with your names, and please keep it up.
See, he wins every time you acknowledge. You gotta
I know.
You gotta ignore.
I know, but like I've been enjoying them so far, so I want to encourage him. So it's reverse psychology. I need more. Feed my ego. So that's basically what's been going on. So the player's been learning, like, okay, they do have tanks, but it's not Lehman Russes. It's the equivalent of like Soviet World War II tanks, mass produced, out the hellhole, coming at you like 15-1 like quantity style. And the only real like major defenses is like where the Adeptus Mechanicus is located, because they've basically gone, right, well, we need combat servitors and we need murder servitors and we need these sort of things, because fuck you, we don't abide by the rules and regulations of the administration of the administratum. So the players are already going like, okay, well, if we can secure that, we can get this, we can do this. And I was like, yeah, no, we've got a plan, Oscar. We've got a plan. It's like, good. I like that.
It's good that you guys have a plan, because so do I.
This is sort of like what I do want to see. I want to see the players like jump in, engage, talk to one another. I want them to set up concepts so that they can...
I mean, this is how I imagine it. Okay, so the players have put together this big grand scheme to go down to this planet.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, you're sitting here behind your screen, and you're going, little do they know that the inhabitants of said planet are preparing to blow it up the moment they land.
So I've given them hints.
Oh, you're actually doing that.
Yeah, no, like, so what I do is that before the players commit to something, I have already sat down and gone, here's what the planet's defenders, like, this is their strategy. This is what they're committing to. Here's the enemy strategy, and here's what they're committing to. So I wrote over, like, that entire interlocking war has already been put in place, and I'm not deviating from that.
Yeah.
So that means that the point of my game, of my DMing style, is that I build the scenario. The players are then meant to be the ace. They are the wild card that can swing things one way or the other, depending on how they conduct themselves. Which means that when the players come in, like, they have an impact. because they are players. And the same thing can be said for named NPCs. They have the same sort of input that a player has. Like they can come in and they can make a difference.
Right.
So that's my style for that. So the psyker and the navigator has been doing their observations. I've been telling them like, oh, the aliens are bombarding the planet with this like psychic beam thing that's like causing things, and the planet within the warp is having this like tornado storm that's forming up that you recognize from this other system you've been in, which means that there's going to be a dampening. But the aliens are intentionally doing something to cause a tearing of the warp of the rift. So the players are thinking, this doesn't make sense. The aliens are coming down there to harvest and eat the humans. Why are they opening up for demonic incursions?
Right.
I don't understand. Like one of the players straight up said, I don't understand this, but I guess I'm not supposed to because it's the mind of an alien. And I sat there and went, that's correct. If you understood what they were doing, I would give you corruption points. And now again, this is just me being me, scurrying into the dark archives of Warhammer 40,000 like a mole. Like something that is just blind and only sniffing out, the aspects of the universe that can cause players pain.
So this is okay. I have to make an observation.
Yeah.
So you're big into Warhammer 40K,
Yep.
The role playing and all that, but you're not much into horror movies. Have you by chance ever seen the movie Event Horizon?
I have been told that is it's like the movie that's almost like a prelude into Warhammer because they go into effectively hell.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, I have been meaning to watch it.
You have to watch it through. I mean, well, let me rephrase. To get that out of it, you have to kind of watch it through that lens. That's definitely not how it was intended. But if you do watch it through that lens, you can easily see connection points between that movie and what could easily become the Warhammer 40K universe or reality.
Yeah. With one exception. The Emperor isn't there.
Yet.
Yeah. No, he's perpetual. So the Emperor was around during Neanderthals.
Gotcha.
Because he was created by the great shaman fuck.
Yeah.
And honestly, there's also some folks that will also say that it's that it connects to Hellraiser, but honestly, I think it connects stronger to the Warhammer 40K mythos than anything else. But
yeah, no, I do need to sit down and watch it. And from what I've been told, the director's extended cut or whatever it is, apparently it's better. Like I said, I don't know, but I have to sit down and watch it.
I think the director's cut brings more of what the story for the movie should be. Whether or not, I don't like the movie. I'm just going to say it. I don't like the movie. I've seen the theatrical version and the director's cut.
I haven't
seen
the directors.
Well, I've seen all the cut footage from it, rather. But yeah, I don't like it.
That's fair. Again, as much as I probably need to sit down and watch, because again, there's also like Judge Dredd, not the one with Sylvester Stallone, but the one with like Carl Urban. Yeah, Carl Urban. Like that definitely encapsulates what it's like to be in a hive city. It encapsulates what it's like to be in Arbites.
Yeah.
There's a lot. Warhammer is a pish pot of all the different, like you've got Dune, and now having watched the latest Dune movie, I'm like, all right, I really like that. That is a nice thing. Again, I haven't read the books, but based on what I've seen, I'm like, okay, I can sort of see like the machinations of all of these different things and houses going to war, how big of a deal that actually is, so on and so on. So yeah,
And
so
you have
there's
aliens.
aliens, yeah, absolutely. You've got aliens. I mean, I don't know if Starship Trooper is a direct inspiration, but like you have the whole like Tyranid aspect. That's
No,
me grasping.
Heinlein wrote the Starship Trooper books like years upon years ago.
Yeah,
I mean, that
the
was like a 1940s.
40s or 50s. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Starship Troopers, the apes in that are the
1958. Yeah.
inspiration for the Adeptus Astartes,
Mhm.
but that's about as far as that aspect goes because obviously the movie did not represent the ape suits, and I do not consider those marauder abominations in the third movie to be representations of what the fucking ape suits are meant to be. Every aspect of that fucking movie.
That's fine.
sucks.
I get, but I enjoy the world of the Starship Trooper and what they were trying to sort of present, from the movie's point of view, and then having learned about the book, it's like, okay, they wanted to portray it one way, but they kind of failed in what they
Well,
wanted to do in the end.
to be honest, though, the first book or the first movie was somewhat based off the books,
Yep.
but the second, third, fourth, however many there were, was purely based off of how much money they could make.
Yeah. Again, like
I
obviously,
mean, that's it, plain and simple.
I saw the second one, and the most I could say about that is like, oh, gene stealers.
Yeah,
Like, that's about as far as I could take that. It was like,
yeah.
it's again like it's not. Then the third one was like, okay, well, we're now bringing in like heavy Christianity. Fair enough, but then that's neither here nor there. My point is, going back to the game, I've given the players hints of what is happening because the alien species that they're up against is called the Ragdoll. They have a very small percentage of their population that is then psychically active. Now, those psychically active beings uses their power very differently compared to what a human would do or compared to what an Eldar would do, because they are referred to as techno shamans. So they use their psychic abilities to attack technology more than they do. Oh dear lord! Sorry, I'm just getting a message from. So they do that, and as a part of, and there is deeper lore with the Ragdolls being tied in with the Yuvath, which is again that is not a hard, what's it called, decision that Fantasy Flight made. It was something that has been consulted with Games Workshop, and they've said you can do this or you can do that, but it should be up in the air, which is fine. And that means that there's going to be a lot of like interpretations, and it also means that there's going to be events where the players are going to go, "Oh, we understand the alien now," and then there's almost like a curvature where it's like, "Do we?"
You thought you did.
Exactly. Now, if my plan is the players are going to go down there. The Ragdoll are going to be using their psychers to create what's known as a bronze malefict. A bronze malefict would be like an iron golem. So it's a nasty piece of work. It would mean that it's powered by demonic entities, like by the warp, but the way that they go about it, it's not the way that you would have something like a Chaos Space Marine Warpsmith or anything like that. It's a different analogy or a different method that they go about it. Again, they bend the rules in a way that is not understood by the players. And there's not meant. I mean, if the players do want to understand it, great. Here's corruption points. You lose your soul for understanding how the alien works. It's
Right.
in my game. I mean, in my game, I've explained that if you are exposed to the alien's influence, you lose a piece of your own humanity.
So you're kind of throwing in a touch of Cthulhu.
Yes. Oh, definitely.
Mm.
Like there are things out there that exist that embodies a physical form, where once you start realizing that it exists out there, that you're like, you grow a little bit insane.
Right.
You start like, you've learned something that now defies what normality is, and that starts taking away a piece of your soul. Just the knowledge will do that to you. So you lose your humanity, you lose your sanity by
Yeah.
learning more. And my plan is, depending on how things go, the players can then start poking and prodding and learning things, and they will pick up on some things. They may end up telling the Inquisitor that's in the system. If they do, there's going to be a very interesting conversation, because everything sort of ties together into other Fantasy Flight books, where
Right.
I will then have to sit down and the Inquisitor's going to have to say, right, you're now at a crossroads. If you are pursuing this, you have to understand that there are consequences for the doors you're going to be opening. And that is on you. I cannot and I will not protect you once
Yeah.
you start opening these doors. But I will warn you right now, there are consequences, dire consequences for asking questions. So
Which
you
I
have
mean
to
is
make.
just going to push them. You realize that, right?
I know I do, but there are certain, like the NPC Inquisitor is not a bastard. He's not out to get the players. He's out to manage the influence of aliens within
Yeah.
this system. So he's there to make sure it doesn't spread, because the Inquisition has realized that there is like alien influence is seeping out of this sector. He's coming in to stop it, and the players, in being rogue traders, are going to engage with aliens. So he's like, well, this is a part of the course, but you have to understand, you're going to engage with them. You are going to have questions. These questions will lead you to doors, and you have to make the decision. If you open that
Right.
door, there are going to be things on the other side that will harm you physically, spiritually, and your mortal life, even, because there are reasons for why these doors are kept closed. And I'm not. He has to be cryptic about this, because he is bound by certain orders within the Inquisition that he cannot tell them unless he's given the clearance by his Lord Inquisitor Master. So he cannot do it, and he at the moment does not have enough reason to even put forward a case for why they should be exempt. They have to provide him the evidence for why he should be able to make that case, and then they have to. Again, this is me. I have this entire thing like prepared of, like, if they want to learn about this,
Mm-hmm.
they then have to, like, the Inquisitor's going to turn around and go, right, you have now been permitted to do this. In order for me to tell you this, you now have to do a 24-hour rite of cleansing. So that means praying to the God Emperor, praying to whatever saint. You are not allowed to eat. You're not allowed to drink. You are not allowed to have alcohol. You're not allowed to smoke. You have to cleanse your system, and you have to test your mind and body and soul to come towards me cleansed and clean, because the information I will give to you, you need to be strong of mind, body, and soul before you are going to be receiving this. And then,
Okay. So in that,
yeah,
with those guidelines in set, how? Okay. Let's assume that you've just laid all that out for your players, and they all
mhm.
go, okay, that's fine. We won't do any of that. We won't drink. We won't smoke. How? I mean, that's not a difficult thing to. I'm trying to think of the right way to word it. That's not a difficult thing to not role play. It's
Yeah.
it's just simply we just won't talk about actually doing it.
See, it will
As
be.
a character, that's what I'm saying. Like as a character, like I mean, I can sit here as a human being and go, okay, I'm drinking something, you're drinking something. In character, I mean, how often, do other than and I'm thinking in terms of like D&D, but it can also be extended over to sci-fi too. How often do they go to a bar or a tavern and sit down and order a meal? I mean, it does happen, but it's usually their choice whether or not they actively seek out said bar and order said meal or drink or whatever. what do
So
you have in place that kind of, I don't know. I don't know how to
how
ask
do I
that question.
how
Yeah.
so you're asking how do I counteract a hand wavy motion and make it a
Yeah, yeah,
consequence?
and go like if their hand wavy motion is okay, yeah, that's fine. We'll just not do any of that stuff.
Mhm. Cool. I do have an answer to that. So this is a test of character.
Hmm.
Now we know that, like, again, so some of the players have exhibited things like, okay, my character likes to drink, my character likes to do this. I'm then
Right.
gonna be like, right, you have to now test your willpower. You now have to test your toughness.
Okay.
You now
Okay.
actually have to go to mass, and there is a player who is playing a missionary. That missionary now has to sit down and like properly like go through a sermon, which means that like he has to keep you attended. He has to make
Okay.
sure that you say the right things. He might even turn around and say, you have to flagellate yourself. Here is a whip with nails on them. Go and literally make your character weaker
Right.
to do this. It is there are going to be mechanical impacts. Like, again, the navigator might turn around because he's strong of mind. So he'll be like, all right, I'm able to resist this. But then his body's going to be like, but I'm hungry. And then he's
Gotcha.
going
So
to be
you're gonna have them actually physically roll against
yes,
willpower to see somebody just put
will
a cooked turkey in front of you. Roll for
yeah.
willpower to see if you
It's
just decide not to eat it.
so I'm going to go through every player because, again, I'm going to pick like the captain.
Right.
Every day as an officer of a ship, he is going to be given an incredible meal because he's the captain. Like every day, like I sit there and go like, so you have
Right.
fed the entire thing. You like, and the player, his first thing when he came into character in this session was like, I come in and I've got a hip flask with like really good bourbon. See, I noticed that,
Hmm.
and I'm immediately gonna go, you can't touch that thing there. And you don't have to do a willpower check because you find yourself like reaching in and bringing it up to your lips because this is instinctual.
Right.
I can only speak
Right.
for
Right.
myself.
Right.
I've had moments of like where I would just go up, I would walk down into the kitchen, I'll go towards the corner where we keep our alcohol, and I'd stop myself and go, wait. I'm doing this because I have a craving. It is not that, again, I know that I've got a certain addictive trait within me. So I'm
Sure.
like, well, wait, this is my addiction that's kicking in. And
But it's
I'm not
Sunday at 2 a.m. I really don't need to go down there and do that right now.
yeah, thankfully it's not that strong. It's more like a Friday, Saturday where I'll be like, oh, these
Yeah.
are the 2 days I've
Yeah.
allotted to myself where I'm allowed to
Yeah.
drink.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
I find
I
myself going
understand
down
that.
there. Yes, I'm open about these things, but it's one of those situations where I go down there and say, wait, I'm doing it because it's a routine. It's not because I'm a social drinker.
Hmm.
I only allow myself to drink when I'm in a
Yeah.
social environment, and it has to be like usually like 4 or 5 p.m. before I will really do it. So I have to then make sure that I don't go and just start drinking. Like I've done day
Right.
drinking previously, and it's like it leads down a slippery slope. But
Sure.
these are the sort of
Mm.
things where I'm going to turn to the players and go, you now have to do this. The priest will then have to sit and like go through, his character is literally made for this.
Yeah.
He has like
Yeah.
a strong body. He's got a strong mind. Like he's going to be able to get through it, no problem.
So the fucked up part here needs to be the priest is going in and everybody has to take communion with wine. So now how do you resolve the guy that can't be allowed to drink?
Yeah. Again, but there's different ways. But this is where I turn to the priest and go, how do you solve this? They aren't allowed to drink. They're not allowed to have, again, it's based on
Right, right,
Catholicism.
right.
So the body of Jesus Christ, in this case, he wouldn't have to turn around and go, right, we're not doing communion this way. We're doing confessions. You're all going in there. You are telling me what you have sinned because you have sinned, and then you have to be there. And he's going to go. It's not just going to be prayer. It might even be actions. He will have to tell them, you have to go and now do this for the ship. You have to go and do this for this saint. You have to go and look yourself in the
Yeah.
mirror as you carve the sign of the Emperor's Imperium into your chest as a sign of devotion.
Hmm.
So, like, the way I'm counteracting this, Grim, is effectively I'm turning it around and I'm actually going to make the players like go through the motions, go through the hoops, do roles. Because it's one thing to just sit there and go, oh, I'm just going to do this. It's another thing when it's like, okay, I am breaking an entire routine. I have to spiritually, again, spiritual cleansing comes with the implication that you have to will, like, you're not just showing up to do the motions, say the hallelujahs, and then go out. You have to really get into it. You have to embrace the spirit of the belief, and that is something that, again, I can only speak for myself, having been to some of the masses in both Denmark and I had a visitation to a Catholic school. I sat down and I don't know what I'm doing here.
Yeah.
But when I had to go up and like they're like, here's the body of Christ, I was like, I don't know. Like, do I take it? It's like, no, just move on because you're not Catholic. I'm like, oh, okay. I know
you go into a situation like that and you're almost like, I feel like I'm 30 seconds away from bursting into flames.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm supposed to be here.
I mean, I can only speak for myself. I felt out of place because I was like, this is an environment where people believe in things that I don't believe in. They're saying things that I've got no clue about.
Yeah. I mean, I find it fascinating, but I'm with you there. I feel out of place. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what the players have. Go on.
Take this opportunity to point out the absolute hilarity that is the God Emperor promoted, no religious doctrine.
Mm-hmm.
He was
Yep, he was atheist all the way through.
In fact, he tried to squash religious connotations in his Imperium while he was technically still alive and moving.
Yep.
Is there anything that scares the Emperor?
That what? Scares,
like frightens.
So when he was alive, he was aware and he was doing his best to avoid a vision that he had seen, which was that all his work would come crumbling down because there would be a civil war. But he did not know how or what steps would be needed to arrive there and what steps he would need to sidestep to avoid it.
Mm-hmm.
He is afraid of humanity being cast into a level of darkness where they are preyed upon. He is afraid of effectively he's afraid of the great unknown, the great chaos swallowing the existence. Like that is his concern. And in a way, the enemy has won because while he is alive, while mankind is fighting and keeping the line steady, although they're losing a couple of millimeters every year, they have to go to lengths that are just so extreme that the God Emperor, if he was to step off the throne and look upon the empire, the Imperium as it is in this present day, he would be mortified. They are fanatically devoted towards him. Like, people have been killed for having the wrong interpretations.
Yeah.
There is a horribly inefficient government that is not running the things, and there are just things are falling apart. There's been straight up mismanagements, internal civil wars. The Inquisition has overreached what they were meant to do, and they're now an organization that are so powerful, but they're so powerful because everyone's afraid of them. If you really drill down to it, the Inquisition doesn't hold actual power. It is the belief that they have power that gives them power.
Yeah,
and if someone confronts them and goes, "I'm not going to listen to you," they react violently because they cannot allow someone to undermine them.
Right.
So the Emperor's fear is what the 41st millennium or 42nd millennium is today. So that's what he's afraid of. He's not alive, though. Well, he is sort of alive, just entombed.
Yeah.
And to be fair, this whole destroying of his empire has been occurring, or entropy of his former glorious empire has been occurring over the last 10,000 years, which, while he's been entombed on the Golden Throne, has got to have been like just part of the reason why he's been decaying away like he has.
And
Yep.
lore-wise, fantasy versus 40K, those are in two completely separate realities, right? It's like
Sort
what
of.
fantasy does is not a precursor to 40K, is it?
Sax can explain this better than I can. I'll probably
Let
get
me
a few
in.
things
Let
wrong.
me in. So in the older editions, it was set up that fantasy was like the prelude, or like it was within the universe of Warhammer 40K, because you could have events where like a bolt shell would fall down from the ground or from the sky and so on. These were fun things. As we've moved on, and I'm not going to count Age of Sigmar, by the way, like that's a hard line where they went, right, we're separating it out into its own thing, and it's not nowhere related.
Right.
But like the old world is not related to Warhammer 40,000.
Okay.
It's not a prelude. It shares the same things because this is what has made Games Workshop money. It's where we have got, you know, again, they can reuse the four gods of chaos. They can reuse the models. Like literally, it is the same models for like the Chaos Demons, different packaging. And the stories are a lot more focused in fantasy. Like it will be like this region had this major battle and so on and so on. But like the Imperial, it doesn't really have the big impact immediately. Actually, no, let me reverse that. There are big battles which does shape the events of fantasy. But
Fall of
Games
Cadia,
Workshop,
for example.
yeah, so 40K has that. Fantasy has a lot more of these are big battles, but they happen at such like inconcise periods, and overall everything just continues as it is. Like they have not progressed the timeline of fantasy in any direction until they got to Age of Sigmar and the end times, as it's referred to. And that was like there's been like decades of where they kept going, like the end times are coming, the end times are coming. And then in the end they went, okay, well, it's arrived. Because we need to make money. So
then games like Escher, not Escher, fuck. What am I thinking of, guys? Necromunda. Games like Necromunda, Gorka Morka, Space Hulk, those all take place in the 40K universe, yeah?
Yeah. Blood Bowl too, I think. Blood Bowl as well?
Yeah, but that's fantasy.
Oh, is that one fantasy?
Yeah.
That's fantasy.
Oh.
Blood Bowl is, because that's the American football that they play, and that's all for fantasy. That's like, it's got such a weird setup of like,
it's bizarre, yeah.
There is apparently, it is once a year, there is an agreement that all faction will come together onto neutral grounds and play Blood Bowl. What?
Yeah.
Oh, so there's a universe where the American Football World Cup is actually for the entire world and not just one country. Mm-hmm. Oh, isn't that nice?
I mean, I'm amazed they didn't go with cricket, given that it's a UK company.
Yeah. Yeah.
They went with an American sport.
I know.
Not in rugby.
And with cricket, there's so much more, chances to whack someone with things.
Well, consider this. Americans are a bit more naive and willing to spend stupid amounts of money on plastic. Well, I guess at that point, pewter, and now plastic.
Yes, I know. That's why.
So they're suckers. Americans are suckers.
I know. It's why we refer to it as plastic crack.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, but back to the. Sorry, were there any other questions in regards for the Rogue Trader game and how we're setting up with this entire thing?
No, I'm flowing with the organicness of the conversation, man. I just, as you say stuff, I have questions that pop in. I'm like, I'm just curious.
Please
about
do.
This.
No, absolutely. But yeah, so the players are currently going to be going down, so I'm going to be making some battle maps for this coming period. I've invested into some animations for Roll20, so I can have animated tokens and things like that, so it looks like, oh, there's a fire here, there's smoke, there's bombardments over there. It's small things like that I think that makes a difference for when you play a game that's meant to be big and impactful, is that you can see things happening on the map. That, and sometimes I just I find things in Roll20, I'm like, that just looks good. Why not?
Yeah.
Let's get that. Of course, I'm happy to spend $3.50 or £3.50. I'll get some of them, like, you get hundreds of tokens. Others are like, oh, you get like 30, 40 of them. Like, that's fine. It all depends on what I need. So we're going to be doing that, and the players are going to be doing a bunch of like combat events, and the new players have come in with a healthy attitude of, why don't we just do X? Something that has never been discussed by the previous players.
Yeah.
Like, one of them came in and went, does the group have an actual tank? I'm like, no, they've got like an armored personnel carrier. I went, oh, okay. Have they ever used it? They're like, not really. Well, I would like to use it. So as the priest, I will now designate that to be my holy mobile / triage, because he's a priest and he's a doctor.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to run around to like get people who are ill into that, so that he can stitch them back up and get them away from the combat zone, while also shooting the enemy naturally. So I quite like that. It's a neat. It's neat. And hell, the rogue traders turn around going like, I want a motorcycle. I want to have a motorcycle so I can just zoom backwards and forwards. I'm like, I'm not going to stop you, but you need to understand that if you're planning on like doing James Bond or like Jason Bourne stuff of like up the stairwells and so on, you are going to have to make some rolls for that, which means you can crash. And he's like, that's fine, Oscar. I'll do it. Cool. I'm looking forward for when you crash and hit yourself against the wall. So, I'm excited. It's again, I'm excited because there's now this like immediate flow of energy that comes from some of the players into the game.
Mm-hmm.
As many other game masters, that's what I feed upon, and I sort of like get the momentum rolling from that.
Yeah.
And it's a lot easier than me having like maybe 1 or 2 people that's pulling the entire thing, and then 3 other people who are, again, I'm not saying it's wrong to be silent or doing things in the backgrounds, but there's a very clear case of, if there's more people doing that, there is a net negative towards the game.
Sure.
Because now you suddenly only have 1 or 2 people who are making decisions while everyone else is quietly sitting there. And they might suddenly turn around and go, actually, I don't feel like I have a voice. I was like, well, do you speak up? It's like, no, I don't feel like I can. It's like, well, have you tried?
Yeah, I think to go off on a slight little side tangent, I think that's something that a lot of players fall into time and time again, really, is you do have at almost any given table, you've got a core group of players that will take over that, and it's not even necessarily a leadership role. It's just they're the ones that have got the experience. They've been playing it a while, and they're the ones that are going to try to make things happen. And you've got a bunch of supporting players that they're just there to make rolls. But I've also noticed too that there's also players that are content and happy just doing that.
Yeah, I've had some players who were quite happy to sit and watch. Like, they enjoyed being the audience.
Yeah,
and just being like, "Oh, this is a lot of fun. This is cool." I think it was Matt Colville who went through like the various different kind of players that he's observed, and one of them really is just the audience player. They're very happy, like, do the roles and watch the things unfold and just sit there like, oh, this is awesome. This is so much fun. And they will tell you they're very happy about that. And that's great. You just need to identify those players quickly, because
Right.
otherwise you're sitting and going like, "Do you want to do something?" It's like, "No, I'm fine.
Yeah.
No, I'm fine. No, it's all good, Oscar. Thanks. No, it's fine. I just want to watch." It's like, you you just want to watch. Okay. All right, Seraphis. I'll get you a ladder. That all the windows will be there, and you'll be like, "Hello, Oscar. Not so down under am I now?"
Or am I?
Oh,
You coming underneath the bed like, "Hello." There's two of me now. They said clothing was unethical and legal. That didn't stop me.
Me?
That's a
You
northern
mean us?
because we are Alfarius.
Oh,
So yeah.
oh my god.
We are the Alpha and the Omega. Nice. But yeah, so that's yeah,
Excuse me.
and again, I enjoyed it. And after the game, there was a period where the players were then able to talk to one another, out of character, and they were very recipients. And some, again, one of the new players I brought in, forward personality, basically went, just let me just say up front, I have the personality that I will talk, I will role play, and if you as a player want to come in and say something, you literally just tell me. I'm happy to step away from the spotlight because it's in my nature that if someone's not doing something, then I will initiate something.
Yeah.
So, again, communication is key, which has been good. And there's what's it called, like sharing of from the players who've been with me for 4 or 5 years, turning around going like, "Oh yeah, by the way, these are the other things that's happened." And one thing that you'll see from Sax is he has below average rolling stats. He will roll crap, which leads to some hilarious moments. And again, like that's great. I mean, in this game, I don't have to roll for hit points, which there would be so many moments in D&D where I'd roll up like these really tough orcs, and they would have 1 or 2 hit points.
Right.
And the players would be like, "We're level 3. How are we taking on so many? How are we winning?" And I was like,
Because they're level ones. They're level 0. They're level half.
well, apparently, like these orcs are going to be like, really tough creatures. Like at least like having 2 or 3 hit points, but 2 or 3 hit points can quickly be taken out by even a D6.
Yeah.
It was hilarious. And the story that is going to be told over and over and over again was when the players was in a dungeon. I had them fight all these various creatures. The players were not being subtle about their fighting. They were casting spells, they were shouting, they were clamoring, they were fighting out all these things. So I rolled up a random encounter, got a Hydra, who was then, right, roll for the heads. 7 heads, kind of nasty. It's like, cool, let's roll for its hit points. So that's 78 in old AD&D.
And you didn't roll a single one, did you?
I rolled 15. I rolled 15 hit points. So I was like, okay, this is a Hydra that has lived a horrible life. It has got
some stunted growth.
It has lost its teeth, and it's got something that's not allowing it to regenerate. It's had a moment. Exactly. One of the heads showed up with like just gums. Another one has had the instance of like the white blood cells realized that it had eyes, so attacked it, so it's now blind in one of its heads. It was missing a leg, so it was just had the stump that was coming in. Another head had like its spine or like neck.
Well, I mean, that's got to help on its intimidation checks anyway, right?
Yeah, no, it came in and it was just like one head like dragged along, just going another like 6 like moving around, jumping into one another. And I was generally described like this like ragged down, like decayed thing. And the player sat there and went, "Oh my god, we are gonna fight a zombie Hydra." And they just went like, we are out of spells. we've got like one or two like last minute they were straight up our spells. Our spells, we've got nothing. I was like, guys, we can't run. Like it's going to, even as a zombie, like that thing's got to have reach. It's got all of these other things. Commit. Just gang up on it.
Killing.
Well, again, they didn't know that it was a real Hydra.
Right,
They thought it was a zombie. So they just ran in there and they just attacked all at once, like bam, bam, bam. They did like 34 points of damage. And I sat there and went, right, it collapses. And all the players went, what do you mean it collapses? Like, no, you did twice as hit points worth of damage. You've killed a Hydra. that was a Hydra. Not a zombie. No, that was a real Hydra. They sat there and went, what the fuck? Just like it was at that moment the players knew I couldn't roll hit points. So every time they came up against someone who actually had hit points, that's because I would approach my wife with the dice and go, please roll these.
Yeah. I get that.
And she would roll, yeah, and she would roll really well. So when the players were like, he hasn't died in 3 hits, his wife is involved. That means that person has a name.
See, I found that I have the opposite going on. If I'm a player, I can't roll to save my fucking life, literally.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm GMing, I will do half the rolls behind the screen, because if I roll in front of the screen at a critical moment, I'm going to roll a 20. And I'm going to kill a player. And I'm like, this is a stupid encounter. This is a stupid encounter. I'm not going to kill a player from a stupid encounter.
I'm not ready for the game to be over yet.
Yeah. I'm going to roll behind the screen. Oh, look, exactly what I thought happened. I rolled a natural 20. I'm going to tell them I rolled a 5 and just flick the die just quickly so they can't see that.
Yeah, at my table, we call that divine intervention.
Mm. Yeah.
Like,
so,
like-
go on.
Like, I had to do this during a zombie encounter because they were rolling crap for this zombie encounter. And the zombies, more or less, were rolling really well. And they were starting to wear down the heroes. And I'm like, this was just meant to be like a stupid, like, get them warmed up for what's coming. This can't be what kills them. This is stupid. Everything about this is stupid.
I can imagine the big bad, like, okay, I've sent them in there. It's going to wear them down. I'm ready for when they get in there. They're not going to have all their spells. And then somebody comes in. We've done it, my lord. It's like, you've done what? We've killed them. Here are their heads. I'm like, I'm sorry. So hold on. You are 1 hit points. I made half of you, like, not even like as many as I could. You have taken on the enemies that's been dismantling my organization. Yes, my lord. It's like, wait, by the way, how are you able to speak? I took one of the wizard's brains, my lord. I have been upskilled. I will become your crypt thing, my lord. Allow me to shine your boots. What
And now Orcus is like, damn it. Now I've got to raise them just so that I can fight them.
Literally bring them back and sit there and go, do you know how disappointed I am? I am so... Listen, I'm going to give you a second chance because this is not how it's meant to go. You are meant to come in here. We have a good fight. I get some experience from this. You know what you've given me? You've given me henchmen with brains. Do you know how dangerous that is? It's like, Orcus, the demon prince of the undead. No, you don't understand. This is the abyss. You know why we are what we are fighting the most against here? What? Unions. I'm happy to keep the influence of the 9 hells out of the abyss because they will slowly come in here and then they will form the zombie unions, the ghoul unions, the lich's unifications of divine powers. Do you know how hard it is to crush these things? Because zombies and ghouls, you would be surprised, are numerous. You know how hard it is when there's 1 million of them and all of them will just scatter into different factions? No. I can't have that. You are going back to life. I am sending you back to the material world. Hell, I will throw in some freebies so that you can do your portal back here from the start, so you can clean up the mess you've made. You are going to be dealing with my union problem. Then you're coming back here. Then we're having a fight. Do you understand me? No? Well, tough fucking titties. Off you go.
Yeah, that could be a fun scenario.
It's like, what? What happened? Oh shit, he cast geese on us. We have to do it now.
The only downside is now the wizard, well, they're not at their fullest potential because, well, they're missing part of their brain. So every third spell that they cast, it might go a little wrong.
We need to find that crypt thing now. We need to get that brain back and ASAP before it starts decaying.
Yeah.
Seraphis, this is why you invite me to these shows.
Yeah. I'm not going to lie.
It's like, these are concepts that no man has considered.
Also, it helps balance out the Americans.
That's all right.
It's only one. I'm the only one.
Yeah.
Of course, I do have multiple voices in my head, but
No, they can't.
I mean, it doesn't make you special. I mean, who here doesn't?
yeah.
Yeah, that reminded me, I completely fucked up my week this week and didn't release my video, which I'm hoping to do tomorrow. But the reason why that reminded me was because Player's Guide 2 is the next video I was planning on doing, right? For Tales of the Valiant.
Mm-hmm.
Player's Guide 2 has something like 3 or 4 pages on playing epic levels. 20 plus.
Yeah.
Full rule set, full what you do, progression levels, all of that. And it's like, holy shit. They actually want you to play over level 20.
So what going past level 20, what is the new maximum, or is it just open-ended?
The chart goes to level 30, but it gives you the mathematical formula for XP and everything after that. So yeah. And
wouldn't it be cool if Tales of the Valiant came out with like an Immortals rule set?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure give them time. I mean, I need to double check going through Labyrinth because that might have stuff in it, because that's all about like other worlds and stuff, and it might have stuff on like essentially playing immortal characters.
Right.
But oh man, I found that and I was just like, how did I miss that on the first go? Like I saw the like they've got like, you know how 5e 2024 2025, whatever the fuck we're calling that, 5e 2.4679116
8675309.
yeah, has the bastions in it. TOV has its own keeps, except they've kind of wholeheartedly taken from D&D's old castles books and implemented into their game. So they've got the full like charts and everything, how they work. Oh, and then all the upkeep and everything and Sax, this is probably gonna make you just absolutely love it. All the upkeep costs, all the tables of how much they work and stuff, how much they can do in a day, what services they can provide, what like tables corresponding to like player Like, if it's a spellcaster, what spell tables you can use from them, all of that, everything. Full rule set here. Like, it takes up a decent 30 odd pages in the book, which is like 300 pages again. And it's like, they're really showing up WotC right now.
How do I put this? I don't think it's hard.
But like, that's the other thing though. Like,
WotC had a strong game in 3.5. Like, the amount of books that came out was like, okay, this is awesome. I know they then went on to change it into 4th edition, but you can't deny they had a strong game. That was a super strong player base for 4th edition. Like, so much so that you still had like 2 DMGs, 2 players' handbooks. The amount of monsters manuals, expansion stories, you go through like how much has been pumped out for 4th edition. It's nothing to sneeze at. Like, I'm sorry, but like the outcome, the product, and the sales speaks for themselves. 5th edition is having the whole case of you've had the core 3 books, you've had a bunch of, they've gone into the whole thing, print out a module, come out with a small supplement, print out a module, print out a supplement, so on and so on. But it's gotten to the point of where the supplements does not have substance of any major caliber. Like, you've got Xanathar's Guide to Everything, Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, Volo's Guides to Everything, and Volo's Guide, and a bunch of others. Like, those are good books with a variety of niches. But now it's gone into the we don't know what to do now. Spelljammer, this, and a bunch of others where it's been like, okay, what does it bring to the table? Like, aside from expanding player races, the classes are the same. It wasn't until like D&D 2024 that it came out with the concept of, hey, do you want to own a castle? Do you want to do this? Cool. What's the upkeep like? Oh, there isn't any. What's the expansions like? Nil. Or like borderline non-existent. If you want to do those things, you almost have to go to like MCDMC or like Matt Colville's project, where it's like, here's how you've got strongholds and followers. Here's how you wage, a war and do logistical combats and like the wider like domain scale, which is something that players like the concept of it, but like if the game master doesn't have something concrete to work it by, where do they begin from this aside from just having like whiffy waffy, I'm making shit up as we go along, which that's not my style. You could take someone like John from EO Geek, who will openly say, oh, I show up, my notes are literally made 5 minutes before the game starts and we're just flying by the seat of my pants. Me as a player, if I'm told like, oh yeah, the DM's got no plans for today, he's just making shit up as we go along, I will sit there and go, why am I here? Like, if you have the game as the game master, I've got no direction for where this game is going. Is it now on me to make a direction? Because fuck me, okay. I mean, I can do that, but like, I need to know these sort of things so I can sit and wrangle the players into submission, take them on a journey.
See, I discovered by accident that my players get more involved in the games I don't prep for, or in the session I don't prep for.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. I do everything the same though. I will present everything, like bring us up, where we ended off, tell them where they're at now, what's going on, the theme of everything, and then handball it off to them like I normally would. But my notes for the session is a blank piece of paper. And I am literally just like keying off of their feedback, writing things down, and then maybe making a note to flip it on its head or something like that, and then just play it off like that. And they've had the funnest time when I do that.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily story driven, but it's fun. It's a fun game for them, and it's like, yeah.
I mean, let me take my Sunday game. When like my current Sunday group, we had a break because we were doing very structured games. We were then doing like a level 1 to level 20 campaign that just it burned me out. We got to like level 15, 16. I was like, I need to cut it here because we can go to level 20, but I am gonna be so angry at the shit that we're doing because I'm having a struggle keeping things up. But that's that. So we took a break. I then did a 5e game where the buy-in was that I will do no prep work at all. I will just show up. We roll. Everything's going to be rolled randomly on tables, and we were just going to make something out of it. And I found that okay, that's good for my improv flexes or my improv ability. So I did that for about a year. We had a good story that came out of it, and then I congregated back my old D&D group, and I said, right, here is the buy-in for this game. We're here to have fun. Grand overarching stories and so on will come naturally based on what you guys do, but at the end of the day, I'm going to be rolling randomly. These things are going to be done, and the buy-in is that once you defeat like a major monster, you roll on the treasure table and you get what you get, and I will hold back nothing. If it's game breaking, you get it. If it's absolutely worthless, you get it. And then that's how we did. And they were into that. The feedback I've gotten over that campaign has been that players have left the game, have ended the game feeling that their sides were in stitches because they were doing such dumb shit. And they're like, we can't believe we're getting away with that. But that was because we set the tone of that campaign to be in that way. And we're now doing a similar tone for where they are level. I think like they're level 9 or 10. No, sorry, they're level 13, I think. And I'm taking them into Ravenloft. And they're just going to go through the entire story of Curse of Strahd at level 13 to begin with. And we're just going to see like how ridiculous it's going to become. Like nothing is scaled back or scaled up. They're playing it as though they are level 1 characters that's just entered Ravenloft, but they're level 13 and they're just like, my God. The introduction to Ravenloft, because they had a flying ship, was they crashed the ship into the farmlands. Because they couldn't roll. And then they were like, okay, I need to do this acrobatics to see how it goes. Nope, this guy goes flying into the hay balls. This guy's in the field. This guy's now out there, and the angry mob's coming out because they're like, what? Who are you people? We're here to kill you. And the wizard's like, I can't be bothered dealing with this. Mass suggestion, go home, go away, leave me alone. It's just like, fuck. When they were given like the entire thing, like, oh, can you help us escape the village of Barovia? It's like, yeah, sure. How much are you going to pay us? Oh, I've got these 50 gold, which in that game is a lot of money. And they sat there and went, my dude, we've got 15,000. Keep the money. We're just going to take you along. It's like, what? You're richer than anyone in this entire village. Yeah, I suppose. I can't be bothered. Come on. Let's just get this on with.
I like the idea of like a cleric of Pelor at that level just going up to Strahd and says, the power of the sun compels you, bitch, and burning him alive.
Exactly. Now, I have been transparent, basically told him, listen, you can't do certain things because we still have to play the game. So you have to go and get the artifacts. You have to go and get this. So that's the buy-in. Because I told them I will just end that entire thing if they just go up and beat Strahd up at the beginning. Let's actually go through and harass the rest of the villages and the other denizens of Barovia. And then you can go and bully him. Mind you, this is the same team. For when they first met Strahd, they pointed at him and called him a simp. You fucking simp, Strahd. All hooked up on one girl? What, do you buy her bathwaters? Come on, you loser.
Oh, jeez.
Yes, that's my reaction as well. But it's fun. It's chaotic. It's hilarious. They do these things, and sometimes they literally just sit there and go, let's dig around with one another. Like the cleric turned around while they were flying the ship, looked at the wizard, put a hand on him, and said, "I command you to jump." While the ship was flying, that instigated them crashing.
Of course.
It was fucking hilarious. And then one of the players like, well, I have cast invisibility on the ship and ourselves, so what happens? Well, the ship's invisible. So the wizard has to go out and shout, dispel, dispel, until he found it, could minimize it and put it back into his pocket. He's like, Jesus Christ, what is
this
this?
is not Star Trek 4.
Exactly.
Everybody remember where we parked.
Yeah. Again, it's funny, but that's the buy-in for that group. Whereas my Saturday group is a lot more like, okay, we're playing Rogue Trader. We're here to do serious things. We're here to, get into character and do these, grand things. It's a different buy-in.
Yeah, I take it there's not much of a chance of anybody turning invisible and crashing the ship into a garden at that point.
In Rogue Trader, not so much, but there are still events where I have planned that they're going to go there and things will happen. Even with the NPCs who are technically really skilled at what they do, they will have such severe penalties that things can happen.
Yeah.
But that's because they enter a place where I have situations set up where they will be stuck in something where they have to go and do a small adventure to be able to get out of there. And that's a part of the course. And the players do know that there's going to be sessions where it's like, hey, you all are now out there and you are on a abandoned space station. You don't have access to this ship. You have to get through this place now.
But does anyone ever take a dropship out joyriding? Because they're a lot smaller.
They are a lot smaller. It does require that you have a power armor on. Otherwise, it's going to be a red mess when it impacts. The players... So you can buy drop pod upgrades for your ship, Seraphis. The players have not gotten that. I know. But then again, the buy-in for this is that the players have a frigate, so it's like it's a support vessel for bigger ships. It's a utilitarian explorator and a combat vessel. It's got a little bit of like trade going on, but everything else is up for the players to deal with. And then they have a support combat vessel, and they've got a smuggler ship that tags along with them. Now, the smuggler ship is probably going to be out of action for a very long time because of the damages it sustained. And the combat ship is also heavily damaged.
Did they crash it into a garden?
No, they got crashed into by enemy ships who literally came in with their ships. The ships then got out claws and hooked themselves in, and they began boarding action.
Because they really want that penetration.
They do. I have... Seraphis, I have tried really hard to get them to fight orcs. I mean, really hard. There's nothing more that I want than to have a ship flying towards them, the mouth of the ship opening up, and then there's a drill coming out. And the orc ship is going to literally vox them and say, "Open wide, boy. It is coming for you." I was like, what the fuck is happening? And it's just a giant attachment, which would then open up and allow a pouring of orcs to come into the ship. Like this. These are funny things that I would like to do. Additionally, there's also the entire thing of the orcs sending back messages going, "Come on, give us a proper fight. You can do it." Like always encouraging them. Until they're like, "I'm disappointed in you, Yumi. Couldn't even give us a fight. I'm gonna push the big red button now." It's like, what does the big red button do? Hangs up, refuses to elaborate.
I like that because you know that like all their buttons are big red buttons. It does apply the main
There's
gun.
15 of them.
Does it put the booster on and make them fly faster? What's it? Who knows which big red button they're going to push, but they're going to be happy pushing it.
The Orc commander's going to be like, push it. Which one? All of them. Exactly. And you're just going to see like every gun going off at the same time. Their boosters are going to be flying out. They're going to be shooting torpedoes out in the wrong direction. But it's fantastic.
Oh, what are they called? The little gremlin dudes of the orcs. I forgot what they're called.
Snotlings?
Snotlings. Those snotlings hanging on to the torpedoes, fighting them through space.
They've got like the goggles and the helmets on going. It's like, how are you alive?
Somebody's got to steer this thing in the right direction.
That's exactly what they do.
Yeah, like he doesn't even have like the pilot thing. He's got like a trucker thing. He's got to like steer up and down, and then like you can see, what's it like the things you normally have for like the toilets where you have to like push them down. So you've got levers of like up, down, left, right, and then it keeps on hitting the honking wheel that you can hear in space. I have told the players because they will fight orcs at one point. That is an absolute. It is going to be one of the most chaotic sessions, and they just have to accept it.
And like I will just say that I cannot wait for when that happens.
Yeah. Like I already have got certain things planned, like cranes are going to be coming out, attaching themselves in, digging into their ship, all of these sort of things. But the thing that's also going to happen is that at the command bridge, they're suddenly just going to hear like a bump against the windows, and there's going to be snotlings coming out there going, I'm just cleaning it. I'm just cleaning it. I'm just going to make out a marker. Like, what are they doing? But what they're actually doing is that they're making a marker, and they're drawing out like the cut-out figure of an orc, and then they're going to start drilling in. It's like, oh shit, turn.
And I love that part. Not using laser cutters or anything, drilling in.
Yes.
That's what works in their head.
Exactly.
I love how nonsensically the orcs work. They are the true chaos.
Yeah. Or it's again using the 42nd millennium in this campaign. The orcs literally just drive into the Malefictum so that they can be spat out somewhere else. So it's like, oh, there's a fight, boys! Come on, get them! And they're like they're jumping in everywhere because to them it's just a highway.
Yeah, if they get stuck in the fucking eye, oh well, that's just a good time.
Exactly. I am considering that if the players are fighting them at one point, they're going to pick up their communications like, is the warp drive ready? Yes, sir. All right, lower the gale fields. What? Come on, boys. It's been fun. That was just a warm-up. Let's go and have the real fight. And then they leave. They weren't fighting them for anything. Like that was a warm-up for them. And they literally sent them a thank you letter with XOXO kisses. It was like, it's been great.
Oh man.
Which causes them to think, okay, or causes them to have to roll some kind of history check or something, because now they're thinking, well, this sounds awfully familiar. And then they make the roll, and they realize that they read about this book, or they read this in a book about somebody wrote a story about this group that went in to fight a bunch of undead, and the undead stole their brain. And it was just supposed to be a warm-up, but it really wasn't. And now you can connect. Now you can connect that to Orcus and the wizard that is missing his brain and all that.
Oh, you've given me an idea. There's going to be an orc, a mad orc, as they're called, an orc psycho. He's going to be called Dork Two Brain. So he's literally got his head screwed open, and there's like a brain in a jar attached into it.
Nice.
He's gonna be standing there going like, "Arr." I don't know what voice I'm probably gonna try to give him a Somerset like farmer voice, which is gonna be completely contrary to all of the other like London like gritty orc voices. Like they're all talking like Cockney accents, and then you've got this one farmer standing up there. He doesn't have like
you
any
fucking
like
muppet.
yeah, exactly. Like you're kind of like, come on, boys, come on, you git. Like that sort of Cockney accent. And you've got one of them like, well, howdy there. We're here to pitch some holes in them folks over there, them Yumis. I was like, why does he sound like he's from Southern America, like Alabama and that belt? It was just like apparently the brain that he got was from an agricultural world, which had the influence of that Rust Belt area, and that's now influenced his speech.
Every now and again, he's convinced that he has been able to successfully cast a spell. Exactly. But in reality, everybody around him just sees him going.
I might actually do that. Like every third one here, I have to roll like a secondary time to see if his powers manifest. And he just stands there, and I will now summon forth fire. And he just stands there like, you're burning, you're dying.
Yeah.
Like,
he believes it. He really thinks it's happened.
But all the other orcs are shouting, "Oh, he's burning, he's dead, oh, he's done." And the player's like, "Oh, what's happening?" And then they have to roll like. There might be an instance of where they go like, I'm feeling kind of warm. What is this?
Yeah, it's not actually a fire. He just cast like warmth.
Yeah.
In his mind, he thinks it was a full-on fireball, but it was just warmth.
Yeah. I might just describe it as like, you feel like you're suddenly getting a fever. It's becoming uncomfortable.
Yeah. You feel like you're sweating a little. You probably want to take your hat off and wipe your brow.
Yeah.
Sax, help me out here. What's the name of that Imperium
Maledictum?
No, the Imperium commander who that one orc.
Oh, Yarrick?
Huh?
Commissar Yarrick? The one who's got the red eye? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's like are you familiar with him, Game Master? Commissar Yarrick?
No.
Okay. So Commissars are a political officer to make sure that the Imperial Guard are fighting and that they fight at their absolute optimal, and they make sure that there's no corruption or decay of their morality. Yarrick was a part of a war for a planet called Armageddon, and he had to fight a lot of orcs. And he was really fierce. He was brutal in how he's fighting the orcs. Like, he really understood how the orcs was fighting. And he stood up against them over and over and over. And it got to one of the fights where the orcs, one of them ripped his arm off, and he was like, "It's not going to stop me. Fuck you. I'm going to kill you." So he killed that orc, took his power armor, which was an abomination of like a claw, and he just went, "Graft this onto me." So he's now got this like orc claw, and all the orcs are like, oh. He's got a claw. He's got to be a tough one. So they're starting to like fight him a bit more. He keeps like beating the fuck out of them. He starts shouting insults back in the orcish language, and they are just like what? Like, you've just said something, and they're like, what's happening? And then they began saying things like, "He's got the evil eye. He looks at you, and you die." So Garrick, upon learning that, just went, fuck it. Tech priest, you people, I want this cybernetic eye. I want to shoot out lasers. So they literally graft a laser gun inside of his eye. So at one point, like, he's like, "You call me Evil Eye Yarrick? Well, let me show how evil my eye is." And he shoots out a laser. That laser does nothing. It is effectively pointless to shoot against an orc with that. But the orcs seeing that. Yeah, exactly. But the orcs see it, and they believe that is a death ray. The orc is hit by it. It just about penetrates his skin. He goes, "I'm dead," and just dies right there. And the belief of all the other orcs, because they are psychic in that way, it literally makes his eye super powerful beyond what all the mechanisms are meant to be allowing it. So he is now shooting them left, right, and center, killing them. And the orcs literally says, If you're fighting, Yarik's gonna give you a fight, a proper fight. He's a hard one. Like they are so scared of him that they are respecting him. He's the only one. Like Space Marines are great, they're fun. Normal humans they're all right, but Yarik is gonna give you a fight like nothing else. To the point of where he was kidnapped, and the war boss, when he found out that he was kidnapped, literally went down and got him out of the slave pens, brought him up to the hangar, and looks him dead in the eye. This orc is like 3 meters tall, massive. He can crush Yarik right there and then. And he says, "I'm giving you a year." And that orc has learned the human language so that he can speak to him out of respect. And he goes, "I'm going to give you a year to go back to your planet. I need you to prepare for my arrival. And I need you to give me a fight like no one has ever done before." And Yarik literally looks at me and says, "Why should I do what you tell me?" And the orc responds back with, "It is so hard to find good enemies, and you are the best." So they let him go because though it's a rule amongst the orcs, there's only one orc, Gaskul Fracker, I think his name is.
Grazkul Mag Uruk Thraka.
Yeah. That orc is the only orc that is allowed to kill Yarik. No one else is allowed to kill him. That is a rule across the board. All the orcs are going to get up there and get close to him, but they're not allowed to kill him. Because they all know that is that is Gaskul's. That is. He has unfinished business with Yarik. And recent lore, which I'm sure you, Seraphis, are now going to enjoy. Commissar Yarik is not in the books as a playable, as a person you can now field in the war game. Which, that's normally a sign that Games Workshop has killed the character. And weirdly, there's a demon prince, there's a prince of the demons, who has now been seen having some more skulls hanging from his belt. One of them has a commissar's cap and a mechanical eye. It is theorized, but not confirmed, that Commissar Yarik has been killed by this demon prince, and his skull has been taken by him.
You don't think they're trying to introduce Orcus into the whole lexicon, do you?
I don't think so. I don't think they would be so bold as to do something like that.
Or or an Orcus type demon.
I don't think so. I don't think that's the direction that they're going to go with this. The fan base for this are very upset. So much so that there are some people who have gone out and they've written their own fiction to explain what the consequences of this decision is. And Gaskell has summoned almost like a huge chunk of the orcs. He's brought together an orc federation, and I am not talking thousands. I'm talking about tens of thousands of orc clans, numbering in the hundreds of billions, borderline trillions. And they all have been given one mission: find out who this Angron is, this supposed prince of demons. Find him, so that Gaskell can go to this upstart, this kill stealer, this sniper, this snuttling of a worthless would-be warlord, so he can show him what happens to those that takes what is his. So he can take Angron's skull, rip it from his head, stare into his eyes as his life is fading from him, and remind him that there is only one orc in this universe that is allowed to kill Commissar Yarik, the big boss himself. And that is Gaskell. You may be a demon, you may be granted immortality by your god, but you have a death warrant by the biggest, baddest, strongest orc of them all, and neither hell nor reality will stop him from getting to you. The orcs do not know what the rules are for chaos, but what they know is that Angron must die.
And if they all believe it, he's gonna die.
He is exactly. So that is a fan-made story, but to me, that is canon. You cannot tell me anything else. This is reality. I love it so much. It is what's going to be happening. I might even have like a drop fall in this, like, oh yeah, we've been spending like the last 20 years looking for this Angren person. It's like, who? It's like, yeah, Gaskell really wants him dead. Do you know where he is? Like literally just like this orc fleet pulling up, rolling down the windows and going, what? Where is this person? Like, why can't we hear you through the vacuum? Oh, right, that's right. Getting out a microphone, megaphone. Where do we go to the hells of corn?
Oh. I love the ridiculousness.
Yeah, I mean, mind you, I've got a mercenary orc war fleet that's going to show up at some point. At some point, fingers crossed. And it's going to be led by Captain Hardhat or Hardhat. His entire fleet is painted in high visibility because they follow the OSHA. Yeah, like they follow the OSHA.
Yeah.
Everything's highly visible. Why? Because we want you to see us. We don't believe in sneakiness. Go on.
Slight divergent. Hello Games' official page for No Man's Sky on Facebook put up a recent post, which was just an OSHA high-vis vest.
Nice.
And the top-rated comment out of like 200,000 comments and likes and everything on it was, they're finally doing it. They're finally giving us OSHA rules in No Man's Sky.
Exactly. Yeah, but like I'm gonna have that for the orcs, and they're like, no, we want you to see us because we want to fight you. We have read the rules of I'm just gonna have like the imperial standard version of like Isha or something like that. We have read your rule book of war, and they're gonna hold up like the safety regulations. It's like, we know how you work, we know how you think, because we got the sports.
they say, no, we read the rule book, and they're holding up the actual rule book to the game.
Yes. Oh my god, I might do that. I'm gonna have to buy the Orc Codex just for that. I know how this works. They're gonna hold it up.
Oh, that's so messed up.
Hey, do you think then that means that Trazen, is it Trazen?
Yeah, Trazen.
The Necron collector, do you think he's got a book? He's got the codex for the Necrons?
He's got to have something like that. Like he just breaks the fourth wall and like literally captures moments of like, oh, sometimes you acquire this, sometimes you don't acquire this. It's just funny to watch you try.
It's got a schematic for the very first Necron in it. It's called the T-800.
Nice. Right, I'm done. I have said everything I needed to do. Thank you very much for allowing me to have my Sax TV entry tangents.
As always.
I feel like I'm just taking over your show at this point.
Probably. Oh, I'm not keeping track of this shit.
I'm just going with the flow. I'm asking questions where I get curious to ask. So
that's fair enough. Just, Service is in charge, and he's just like, well, let go of the leash and see where he takes us.
Yeah.
Hey, if you say something, I'll bring out something, and then we'll divert back to what you're going on about.
Yeah, fair enough. Mind you, I did the same thing for John's Euro Geek, where I'll be showing up like, hi, I've got points. And John be like, I have a blank piece of paper.
You got a goldfish.
Oh.
Oh, do I? Oh, I didn't know that. It's going left. It's going right. It's going left. It's going right. Surface, we have problems.
What problems?
Well, the fact that we were both basically doing this in sync.
It's called fun.
Ew. All right. Thank you very much. I'm gonna have to call it here.
Oh. Gotten to 12:30 here, so I'll be doing the same soon. But yep, I'll let you go and have a good one.
Likewise.
I think I'm going to go find a fish sandwich.
A fish sandwich?
Yeah. Fish sandwich. Tartar sauce. Some mango habanero.
Did you want to say anything? Mention anything? Talk before we wrap this up?
Tabasco is pretty good too.
It is. Oh, my local pizza joint.
Yeah.
One of their new specialty pizzas at the moment is Indian style butter chicken pizza. I got it the other day and it's delicious.
What's the sauce base?
Indian
Like curry or
curry, yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I bet that is good.
Oh yeah.
Is it a spicy curry or is it just a mild?
I think it was more of a mild. But it was definitely like fully flavorful. You had all that paprika, cumin, all that flavor in there. So yeah, it was absolutely delicious. But yeah. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah. I like pizza.
Yeah. Pizza's pretty good. And on that note,